Look around you right now. Everything you see, the room you are in, the device in your hand, the circumstances of your life, feels incredibly solid, doesn't it? It feels like the final authority. But what if I told you that everything you are looking at is a lie? A convincing, stubborn illusion that has tricked you into believing you are powerless. Most people live their entire lives fighting shadows, trying to change the reflection in the mirror by scrubbing the glass. But you are here because you feel a different truth. You know that the cause of your life is not out there. It is hidden within you. In the next few minutes, we are going to pull back the veil. We are going to hand you the key to the only reality that matters. If you listen with your inner ear, you won't just understand the law. You will awaken as the operant power. You have been taught to believe that the world you see with your eyes, the solid walls, the bank balances, the conditions of your body, is the hard, unchangeable reality to which you must bow. But I am here to tell you that this entire physical world, vast and overwhelming as it seems, is nothing more than a shadow. It is a mirror. It is the reflection of the activity taking place within your own consciousness. There is no reality outside of you. The fundamental nature of imagination is not that it is a flight of fancy or a daydream to escape life. Imagination is the very substance of life itself. It is the creative power of the universe. When you look at your life, you are looking at your past acts of imagination pushed out into space. You are not a victim of the world. You are the author of it. Though you have written the script in your sleep, we must redefine the word God. For centuries, man has looked to the stars, to idols, to history, searching for the cause of things. But the cause is closer than your very breath. God is your own wonderful human imagination. When you say, "I am," you are declaring the presence of God. This is not blasphemy. This is the supreme identity. To look for a deity outside of your own consciousness is to worship a false idol. All that you behold, though it appears without, is within in your imagination, of which this world of mortality is but a shadow. The stars, the mountains, the oceans, they exist because you, the divine imagination, perceive them. You are the center of the cosmos, not physically, but spiritually. The creative power of God is actually your power to imagine a state and occupy it. Therefore, the internal world is the only world that matters. Most of us live our lives trying to change the reflection in the mirror by scrubbing the glass. We try to force people to change. We manipulate circumstances. We struggle against facts. This is futile. You cannot change the reflection without changing the face in front of the mirror. Everything you perceive or desire exists first within the structure of your mind. To change your world, to heal the body, to increase the wealth, to find the love, you must first rearrange the internal structure of your mind. You must move the furniture of your consciousness before the furniture of your home can move. The external world is under compulsion to manifest what you are conscious of being. But how do we accept this when our senses scream the opposite? This brings us to the great secret of the inner life. You are not your body, and you are not your current conditions. You are all imagination. If you believe that reality is only what you can touch and see, you remain a slave to the past. But if you accept that God is your imagination, then you realize that you can enter any state you wish right now in your mind. The moment you imagine a state, it becomes real in the inner world. It has existence. It may not yet be visible to the mortal eye, but it is real. And if you remain faithful to it, it must materialize. This leads us to the terrifying and wonderful truth. You are always selecting your reality. Every moment is a moment of judgment, not judgment in the sense of punishment, but in the sense of selection. You are selecting what you will be conscious of. If you dwell on injury, on lack, on fear, you are selecting those states, and your imagination, being the faithful servant that is God's power, will bring them to pass. But if you dare to assume a new state, to select a new concept of self, you step into a new destiny. The world is yours and the fullness thereof, but only if you claim it within. But that's only the surface, because to truly operate this power, you must master the law of assumption. To manifest a desire, you must perform a radical act. You must completely ignore the evidence of your senses. Your senses are programmed to confirm the status quo. They tell you, you are poor, you are sick, you are lonely. Reason, that logical guardian of the limitations of man, will agree with the senses. But to use the law of assumption, You must deny these witnesses. You must become indifferent to the facts of the day. You must dare to assume that you already are the person you want to be. Not that you will be, for will be is a confession that you are not, but that you are it now. You must appropriate the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Living from the end is the secret. Most people think of their goals. They look at the house they want, the partner they desire. From a distance, they are here, and the desire is there. This creates separation. The law demands that you think from the end. You must mentally place yourself into the state of the wish fulfilled. You must look at the world from the new house, from the wedding ring on your finger, from the healthy body. How would you feel if it were true? How would you see your friends? What would you be doing? You must occupy this state with such intensity that the outer world fades into the background. This practice requires a suspension of your rational mind. You must walk through your day in the assumption. When you walk down the street, are you walking as the man who is seeking a job or the man who has just been hired? The difference is subtle, but it is the difference between failure and success. You must sleep in the assumption. As you drift off at night, you must assume the feeling that your wish is already realized. This is not just positive thinking. It is a spiritual possession. You are possessing a state of consciousness. You are claiming your inheritance. Persistence is the test of your faith. The world may not change instantly. The senses may continue to deny your assumption for a day, a week, or a month. This is where most fail. They look for a sign, and seeing none, they abandon the assumption. But you must not look for signs. The assumption itself is the sign. By persisting in the feeling that I am this, despite all contradictory circumstances, you compel the outer world to rearrange itself. The atoms of the universe have no choice but to assemble to reflect your inner state. You are the operant power. You do not beg, you appropriate. If you persist, the how will take care of itself. You do not need to devise the means. You do not need to know how the money will come or how the meeting will happen. That is the work of the deeper depth of your own being. Your only responsibility is to remain faithful to the end. You must remain in the state of the wish fulfilled until it hardens into fact. And it will. It must. For there is no power in the universe that can stop a man or woman who has become one with their desire. Here's what changes everything. Let me tell you how this looked in my own life, in the story of Barbados. In 1933, the world was in a deep depression, and I was in New York City, unemployed, with no money, and a deep longing to travel to Barbados to see my family. The obstacles were absolute. I had no resources, no job, and ships were not sailing frequently. I went to my teacher Abdullah, an Ethiopian rabbi of great mystical power. I told him of my desire. He did not offer me money. He did not offer me a plan. He simply said to me, "You are in Barbados." Note the tense. He did not say, "I will help you go to Barbados." He slammed the door on my logic and said, "You are in Barbados." He instructed me that night to sleep in New York City as though I were sleeping in my mother's house in Barbados. He told me to walk the streets of New York, but to see the palm trees, to feel the tropical air, to smell the island. I was to deny the physical reality of the cold New York winter and live entirely in the imagination of being in Barbados. I was to view the world from that point of view. The technique was specific. Geography. If I am in Barbados, then New York is 2,000 miles to the north. I had to mentally orient myself so that I was looking at New York from the south. I had to sleep in the assumption that I was already there. I did this night after night. One morning, I went to Abdullah and said, "Abdullah, I am still in New York." He turned his back on me and smashed the door, shouting, "You are in Barbados, and you cannot discuss how you are going to get to a place where you already are." He refused to let me discuss the means or the obstacles. To discuss the how was to confess I wasn't there. The result was a miracle of the law. I received a letter from my brother, who I had not heard from in a long time. He enclosed a draft for $50 and a ticket, but there was a catch. It was a third-class ticket. When I told Abdullah, he said, "Who told you that you are going to Barbados third class? You are in Barbados, and you went first class." He would not accept the compromise. I went to the steamship company, and they told me third class was the only space available. I took the ticket. But the very morning the ship sailed, a man canceled his first-class passage, and I was moved up to first class. I spent 3 months in Barbados, all paid for, bringing back no money. but having lived like a king. I did nothing to earn it in the outer world. I simply rearranged the structure of my mind. I slept in Barbados, while my body was in New York, and the universe had to build a bridge of incidents, a series of events that seemed natural and accidental, to move my body to where my imagination already was. This is the power you hold. You do not need to move a finger physically until you have moved your mind. Now go deeper into how you are spending the most valuable currency you possess, your thoughts. We speak of spending time and paying attention, and these are not metaphors. Your thoughts are the coin of heaven. Every moment of your waking day you are investing in something. Most people are spendthrifts of thought. They waste their mental currency on the morning news, on gossip, on rehashing old arguments, on worrying about the future. They spend their divine substance creating monsters that they will later have to encounter. You must learn the wise investment of thought. You must stop spending and start investing. One of the most powerful investments you can make is to hear good news for others. We often get jealous or competitive, but in the realm of imagination, there is only one being, you. When you imagine good for another, you are actually imagining it for yourself, because you are setting the law in motion. If you have a friend who is unemployed, do not worry about him. Worry is a misuse of imagination. Instead, bring him before your mind's eye. Hear him tell you with excitement in his voice, "I have the job. It is amazing." Feel the reality of his hand in yours. Feel the relief and the joy. This costs you nothing. It requires no physical effort. Yet, this internal act plants a seed. You have invested your thought wisely. You have created a state that must externalize. And here is the secret. As you do this for him, you are cleansing your own mind of the belief in lack. You are lifting yourself as you lift him. The good you imagine for another is a modification of your own concept of self. You cannot bless another without being blessed, just as you cannot curse another without being cursed. For there is no other. There is only the one consciousness pushing out. You must become a gardener of your mind. You must prune the vine. Every time you react to a horror story in the news, every time you join in a conversation about how terrible the economy is, you are planting weeds in your garden. You are investing in a future of despair. You must learn to turn your back on the negative report. You must be disciplined. When the conversation turns to illness or failure, you must inwardly hear the opposite. You must rewrite the script instantly by investing your thoughts only in the lovely, the noble, and the good. For yourself and for others, you create a protective circle around your life. You become a center of power. People will be drawn to you because you are radiating the energy of the solution, not the problem. You are feeding the world with your secret, silent investments. You are proving that the inner world is the cause and the outer world is the effect. But there is a distinction that must be made, or you will fall into confusion. We must distinguish between the law and the promise. The law is what we have been discussing. It is the power to manifest earthly desires, health, wealth, relationships, success. The law is conditional. It depends entirely on you. You are the operant power. If you do not imagine, or if you imagine fearfully, the law will bring you exactly what you have assumed. It is impersonal. It is like electricity. It will light your house or electrocute you, depending on how you use it. You can fail with the law if you lose faith, if you do not persist, or if you let the senses dictate your reality. Success with the law requires discipline, focus, and the brazen impudence to claim what is not yet seen. However, there is something greater than the law. There is the promise. The promise is unconditional. The promise is God's guarantee to you that in time, you will awaken from this dream of life and realize that you are God. This is not something you earn. It is not a reward for manifesting well. It is not a reward for being a good person in the moral sense. It is a developmental inevitability. Just as a caterpillar must become a butterfly, you must become God. You will awaken to the realization that you are the Father, and that the drama of life was your own creation for the purpose of expansion. The promise is spiritual redemption. It is the birth of Christ within you, not as a historical figure, but as your true identity. This happens in God's own time, and you cannot force it. It comes like a thief in the night. It brings a peace that passes all understanding, a knowledge that this world is a stage play, and you are the actor, the writer, and the director. When the promise fulfills itself in you, you will know that death is an illusion. and that you are an eternal being of infinite love and power. So how do we live in the meantime? We live graciously. While you wait for the promise, which is sure and certain, you should use the law to make this life a lovely one. There is no virtue in poverty. There is no holiness in suffering. You are a being of imagination, so why not imagine the best? Why not use the law to cushion the blows of the material world? Why not be a gentleman, a lady, a kind friend, a generous provider? Use the law to create a life that reflects the beauty of the God within you. Do not become obsessed with the things of the world, but do not deny them either. Use them. Enjoy them. But know that your true security lies not in the things you manifest, but in the knowledge of who you are. You are the dreamer of the dream, and one day, the dreamer will wake. Until then, dream noble dreams. Assume the best. Walk in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, for you are already that which you seek. The secret is now yours. The world outside is merely the echo. You are the voice. Stop waiting for the echo to change before you speak. Change the voice, and the echo must follow. You are no longer a victim of the world. You are its dreamer. So I ask you, what will you dare to assume right now? What state are you stepping into this very second? Declare it in the comments below. Make your choice physical. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because we have only scratched the surface. The next video will take you even deeper into the mystery of your own being. Click it now. Your new reality is waiting.